guys, it's Sarah with Happy to Be Raw, back to share some more great raw information with you guys to help motivate you to be the healthier, happier you. So today I want to talk about protein again. I know, it's a popular topic. So if you guys watched my previous video, where do you get your protein? You learned that we only need approximately 10% of our daily caloric intake to come from protein, and that plant foods, fruits and vegetables have more than enough protein to sustain us. But today I want to talk about a few aspects of protein that people are confused about, or maybe some aspects that you haven't thought about before. First, I want to talk about that number, 10%. Does it have to be exactly 10%? Well, no, but that's a good goal to strive for, and there's a reason behind it. It's basically for a safety factor. We don't actually need exactly 10%, but due to the cooking processes, people's illnesses and inabilities to assimilate and digest properly their foods, they may not actually get enough if they don't reach for that 10% goal. So if you're eating whole, ripe, raw fruits and vegetables, you're probably going to get more protein out of it than if you're cooking it, or if the quality of the protein isn't that great. Another aspect of protein that I didn't talk about in my previous video is when it comes to infants. How much protein does an infant need? I mean, that would be good to know, because when you're an infant, you're growing at the fastest rate that you'll ever grow, and you'll need the most protein you'll ever need, really, in your lifetime. So when I looked at some information about that, I looked it up, and it's interesting because if an infant is eating just its mother's milk, breast milk, it's actually only getting about 5.8% of its calories from protein. I also looked at some popular infant formula brands. The first one was Enfamil, and that one had about 8.4% of its calories from protein. And the Similac brand has about 11% of its caloric intake from protein. So as you can see, obviously, if a baby infant who's growing at a massive rate only needs about, 6 to 10% of its caloric intake from protein, and it's thriving, then as an adult who doesn't have as high of a protein need because we're not growing at the same rate, we obviously would not need to eat as much protein, or definitely not eat more than that, because it could be detrimental to our health. Another aspect of protein that you might not have thought about before is the cooking process. What happens to the proteins in our food when we cook it? Well, actually, when we cook foods at high temperatures, the proteins become denatured. And this means that there's a chemical reaction that occurs in the heating process that changes the molecular structure of the protein and destroys or diminishes its original properties. And when we eat proteins that are denatured, our bodies don't recognize it. They can't use it. So when you're eating cooked proteins like cooking meats or dairy or eggs or even plants, the proteins that you think you're getting from those foods, you're not actually getting, because they've been denatured. So the best way to get more protein is by eating whole, ripe, raw fruits and vegetables. Another aspect is this complete protein myth. A lot of people used to believe that you had to have all of the essential amino acids in each meal in order for your body to use them properly. But that's not true. They now know that you can eat all these essential amino acids throughout the day in different meals, and your body can use them very well. And you don't have to have them all in the same food. So if we eat a variety of leafy greens, fruits and vegetables, our bodies will have all of the essential amino acids that they need in order to thrive. So we have an abundance of information about protein. We can know just how to get it from plants, but how do we know we're getting enough? How do we know that if we eat a handful of spinach, it's so many grams of protein, or if we eat an apple, it's so many grams? Well, I recommend using Cronometer.com in order to track your food intake, and it will tell you exactly how many macronutrients and micronutrients you're eating in each of your foods so that you can keep track of your macronutrient caloric intake ratios. I give an example of a day of eating with the Cronometer breakdown in my blog, so click on the link below if you'd like to see it. So like I said before, as long as we're getting enough calories, there's no possible way that we could be protein deficient. The only people in the entire world that have a protein deficiency are people who don't eat enough food. So if you're eating high nutrient dense fruits and vegetables, you will get enough protein, and your body will thank you because you're not giving it too much, and you're giving it all the wonderful nutrients and vitamins and water and fiber that it needs to be healthy. So I hope I answered some more of your questions and gave you some quality information to think about your protein intake and how you can change your diet to be healthier and happier. So if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and share it on Facebook or share it with your friends if you think they'd like to see it too. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.